name is Mohammed.
My name is Albert Sorry, in the region, and the name is Edwin Official. I am Rafik Salami Wa.
Hello and welcome. On this show, we take you on a trip across all of Ghana's 16 regions.
We bring you closer to the hard-to-reach communities and share important stories that didn't make the headlines. My name is Nicholas Ekow, Yamoah.
And I am Esther A.C. Nkrumah. This is from our correspondent.
My name is Mohammed.
My name is Albert Sorry, in the region, and the name is Edwin Official. I am Rafik Salami Wa.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now to our first story. The Oyoko Adako family of Worawora is urging Otumfuo Osei Tutu II to intervene in a brewing chieftaincy conflict. Tensions escalated during the final burial rites of the late Ashanti Queen Mother when a divisional Queen Mother reportedly assaulted an elderly Oyoko Adako family member. There is more in the following report.
The recent attack on an elderly woman of the Oyoko Adako family of Worawora was carried out by the patrilineal divisional Adontin Hima of Worawora traditional area at the final funeral rites of the late Queen Mother of the Ashanti Kingdom weeks ago. The tension ensued when the patrilineal Queen Mother for Worawora traditional area and her entourage arrived on the grounds and ordered the family of the Oyoko Adako, who traced their ancestry to Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, to get up for the Queen Mother and her entourage to sit. The disagreement led to a slap in the face of one of the elderly women, Akosua Dakoa, in this video. According to the family, the Queen Mother and her entourage, since arriving from the funeral, have not issued any statement on the matter, hence citing her for her complicity in the assault case. The Oyoko Adako family is calling on His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II to intervene to prevent any escalation of the tension and also demanding an apology from the attackers, failure for which they would take the necessary actions.
Had it not been the timely arrival of Otumfuo's chief linguist, Bafo Kantakrechi, who intervened and asked Nana Arewa and her gang to move to another site with their phantom from drums, that saved the situation. The tension that started to brew at Manshia would have been an ugly scene to mar the solemn and the august funeral rite of our late Asante Hima Nana Kunadu Ajman III. The Yadom III. From the above incidents, one would conclude that Nana Abraham Safua Arewa II is bent on bringing division, hatred, thuggery, and blatant lies into the once peaceful Worawora state. 2. Nana Arewa assumed powerful positions that do not belong to her, like taking control of Kumasi Oyoko's house and deciding who to sleep in a room and who should not sleep, and who should sleep outside the rooms in the palace. 3. Since Nana Arewa II had declared in a letter that there is no Oyoko family in Worawora, why did she and her gang sit at a site reserved for Oyoko Worawora? Nana Arewa's conduct and action over the time have brought confusion, misunderstanding, and annoyance to her own followers, manifesting in assault, insult, and slaps to their sisters they now perceive as enemies. The elders of Oyoko Adako family of Worawora will once more plead with our king, His Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II, to graciously resolve the issue at Worawora to ensure a peaceful coexistence of all Worawora people in the Worawora state under the Oyoko Adako royal lineage.
In a related development, Dream FM, a local radio station, contracted to broadcast the burial ceremony live from Kumasi to their audience at Worawora, have had their equipment stolen night before the ceremony started. They are appealing to anyone in possession of the equipment to return them as soon as possible. Peter Senu for JoyNews.
For years, Nkransa North faced rotting crops and perilous medical journeys due to poor roads. Now, a 70-kilometer road project in Bodom promises easier travel, economic revival, and a brighter future. And Asabet has more.
In the heart of Ghana's food basket, the land is generous. But for the people of Nkranza North, the journey from farm to fork is a battle fought on this front, their roads. The challenges here are twofold, economic and life-threatening. We are here in Bodom, where a long-awaited solution has finally begun. I started by speaking with the district chief executive to understand the scale of the problem. The district chief executive didn't mince words about what these rules have cost this predominantly farming community.
Like I mentioned earlier, even getting investors to come into Nkranza because of the nature of the roads, they are just afraid to come. So one, we are going to get people who are going to invest more in agriculture in Nkranza North. Notwithstanding that, making sure that we transport our goods to the market, meaning that we are going to have a good market. With our great produce, we are going to have the good market. We are going to have a place where we can access a good road to sell our markets to sell our produce to the market.
That reality described by the DC is what makes today's event so significant. The John Mahama administration's big push policy is launching the construction of 70 kilometers of new roads with immediate effect. I asked the DC what this means for the future.
It is just about the rules. So having access to these rules, I am telling you, a great production will going to go high. I'm just much more overexcited. I don't know what to say. I have to thank the president of the land.
The man who officially cut the salt for this project was the regional minister Francis Osuantwi. He laid out the broader vision for this transformation.
The government assured them of improving the road network in the area, and glory be to his name. As he said, he has given honor to his promise, and as I speak now, 70-kilometer road has been approved. We have contractor on site, so we are just done with the salt cutting, and project or work is going to commence tomorrow. This is immediate. So when you look at the entire project, a 70-kilometer road is not a small project. So we want to thank the government for this intervention, and it is going to enhance the economic activity of the area.
But perhaps the most resonant approval came from the traditional leaders of this land, the Nananom. Their blessing carries the weight of the community's history and hopes.
Nananom se bi no tena no ye na dwene se obayiwa kwan ma se de ye hunu ya na che se e ya asem papa kra. Nanan Nkranza hene ene ne maame se memfa asida sononko emfa mamo.
And so in Bodom today, the sound of celebration mingles with the promise of progress. A 70-kilometer path to a new future now under construction. For the people of Nkranza North, the long and difficult journey is finally paving the way for a smoother ride. Anna Sabit, JoyNews, Nkranza North.
Let's head to the power sector now. Ilokuobo MP and Acting Energy Committee Chair Albert Nyakote is urging greater government support for Bui Power Authority to expand renewable energy. He noted that increased backing would position the authority as a leader in solar energy expertise and training. Precious Semevo has more.
Parliament Committee on Energy's visit to Bui Power Authority BPA was to appreciate their operations and challenges and how the committee could help. The committee toured the 404 megawatt hydro generation station, the 100 megawatt solar farm, and the 5 megawatt floating solar on the dam's reservoir, with ongoing expansion works at the Bui Enclave. Samuel Nimaku-Boateng, acting deputy CEO of BPA, noted plans to expand the sustainable energy mix, but requires assistance to affirm their renewable energy status.
We want to do more. By the end of the next year, we want to have 250 megawatts operational in the enclave. On top of that, we want to also develop about 7 strategic sites in the northern part where the soil irradiation is very high. ECD indebtedness to us, if government is able to give us majority of the 840 million that ECG owes us, we can use that money to develop all these solar projects in the north and then make Ghana's energy more robust.
Albert Nyakote, MP for Yilo Krobo and acting chairman of the committee, commended BPA for its stance against illegal mining in the dam's catchment area. He suggested a budget line to sustain the fight while advocating for maximum support to further grow the authority.
We have a mandate and a commitment to support government to achieve 10% renewable energy mix by 2030. And from what we have seen today, that will definitely be achieved. They've done a great job, and I think that what we are going to do is to recommend that any support that BE requires in the energy sector should be given to BE to up its game in the solar energy system. BE should be a place of learning, a place that we can impact knowledge to other energy companies who are interested in the solar energy sector.
Banda MP and committee member Ahmed Ibrahim called on BPA to partner with academia to harness natural resources.
We Power must have some collaboration with University for Energy and Natural Resources, so that we'll be able to harness our hydro and resource, harness our mountainous resource, harness our forest resource, and harness our solar sun resource. So we should not allow We Power Authority to be neutralized. We must protect them jealously to make sure that they are able to occupy the strategic energy position that they are occupying.
A deputy ranking member of the committee, Collins Adomako Mensah, expressed concerns with BPA's outstanding land compensations at Banda, unlike
for over 20 years we've not been able to resolve boundary issues. So I've indicated to them that I'm going to report back to the chairman that I want to see a budget line dedicated for the payment of compensation for the people of Banda. They have sacrificed enough. The hydro resource, they have contributed to the development of this country, and so they also deserve to be compensated for the sacrifices that they've done for Mother Ghana.
Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Bui.
Ghanaians facing high living costs may soon struggle more as utility providers propose tariff hikes up to 225% during PULC's third regional hearing in Ho. While providers cite operational needs, consumers fear they can't afford the increase. There's more in the following report by Ivy Satoji.
The aim was to promote accountability as companies like ACG, Gridco, Ghana Water Limited, and VRA defended their request for higher tariffs. Chairperson of PURC's Stakeholder Committee, Nanaya Jantoa, explained that the exercise was not about immediate tariff approval, but to hear from the people.
Today, the PURC came to the Volta region, specifically Ho, to do public hearings towards a multi-year tariff order. This is the third engagement we have done so far. We've done one in Kumasi, we've done one in Koforidua, and this is the third one. We are moving on to the central region, the western region, to Ashanti region, and to the northern parts of the country. For the utilities to present to the public the increases they are asking for. Today, they told you the money we gave to them, what they used the money in 2022, and what they are going to use this one for. And we also want to emphasize that this is just a proposal. And when everything is done, the PURC will then sit down with the utilities and factor in whatever we have heard on these trips. These engagements is called the decision variable.
The Electricity Company of Ghana blamed recurring bushfires for major setbacks.
Once we have a massive bushfire cutting down high tension and low tension poles, definitely those communities that are linked to these service lines will be off. Now, for 2023-2024, you have hundreds of poles being bent down as a result of bushfires. A single pole, like we said, HT pole, is about 8,000. So 8,000 times 300 plus, that is just for the cost of the poles. We transport them because we don't buy the poles around. To come the transportation cost, we get contractors to install, we have the charges. Now, the most important thing that likely we are not going to calculate is the time that people are off. So bushfires are really costing us a lot. And what are the sources? Farmers who are clearing their farm, they set fire. Hunters who want to burn some bushes for some grass cutters and other things. Herdsmen who take care of cattle will say we want to burn the old grass so that fresh ones will grow for our cattle. So our appeal to the communities, the chiefs and opinion leaders is to help us.
For Ghana Water Limited, the challenge is rising turbidity caused by sand mining.
Stability issues are disturbing us from Galamsey and other areas. When we come to Volta region, the water level is very clean and clear. So in Volta region, for instance, Ghana Water Company, apart from one or two of the systems, we don't use what we call coagulants or let's say alum to do any of the production. We only pump the water because it's so clean. We filter it and then we disinfect and then we distribute. So the cost of production of water in Volta region, as far as chemical is concerned, is almost very negligible.
Now let's talk about Galamsey. Central Regional Minister Ekow Yamoah says the Galamsey fight is showing results as water bodies improve after recent rains. The minister, speaking at a reservoir tank handover to 5 districts facing severe water shortages, highlighted successes in the crackdown on illegal miners at Enum and vowed to continue until rivers and streams are fully restored. This follows JoyNews' coverage of the worsening water crisis in the central region.
The halt in operations at the Kwenyako Water Treatment Center, triggered by illegal mining activities, plunged several districts into severe water crisis, with Gomoah East, Gomoah West, Gomoah Central, Aguna West and Ewutu Senya East being the hardest hit. In a bid to bring relief to residents in these areas, Vice President Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has donated 10 reservoir tanks to these hard-hit assemblies. At a brief ceremony to hand over the tanks to the MMDCs, Central Regional Minister Ekow Yamoah explained that the intervention forms part of wider efforts by the Vice President to help mitigate the crisis.
As you are aware, we are trying hard to solve the water crisis. For about a month now, this enclave, this part of Central region has gone through a lot of, problem, and that has to do with water crisis. So while the assemblies are at it, making sure that they do boreholes and other things to ensure that our people get water, I gave information to the office of the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, who earlier during the election gave us 10 of such boreholes, and they are functioning very well. She wanted to know what she can do now that we find ourselves in this crisis. So I told her about all that we needed, and she said, why not? If we have identified some boreholes that do not have reservoir, why not? We can do some maintenance and then put reservoirs on them, which is why we have these 10 tanks here, at least to support those areas that we do not have the tanks. And then we look at the way forward to do more of such boreholes. In fact, he also asked a contractor to identify sites and places that we can do more of the boreholes.
He also provided updates on ongoing measures to combat illegal mining in parts of these districts.
His Excellency President John Mahama, the President of the Republic of Ghana, is intentional about the fight against Galamsey, for which reason I can tell you that those who are, creating that mess at Enum Apepem, which is why we are here, being flushed off the area. When the last rains came, we saw that the water is changing. We believe that we're going to sustain that activity to ensure that not only here, but other part of the country will be safe from those who are destroying our water bodies.
Expressing their appreciation for the tanks, the District Chief Executive for Gomoah East, Margaret Nana Akom, noted that the districts are scaling up efforts to address the water shortage and ensure residents have access to safe water.
The district is also doing its possible best to make sure this crisis will calm down in the district. As we are speaking, we are using the drip machine, that's the district road improvement project machine, to support the various communities with some waters. And then when it comes to my district, that's Gomoah East, the fire service and the road contractors, they are doing massively well, supporting us with their machines and supplying the communities with a lot of water. So I'm much grateful to them as well.
From Gomoah East, Abigail Lesol Nkrumah reports for JoyNews.
Nahib Ahmed II of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission, Al-Haji Sulaiman Ahmed, has blamed Ghana's major political parties, the NDC and MPP, for the illegal mining crisis, accusing them of abandoning anti-Galamsey efforts once in power. He cited selfishness, lack of cooperation and materialism. Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
Addressing the participants, Naib Amir II of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission in Ghana, Alhaji Suleiman Ahmed Anderson, is not happy about the destruction of the country's environment as a result of illegal mining. He blamed it on the two major political parties in the country who are unable to fight the miners due to lack of cooperation and selfish interest.
People and parties of opposing views are unable to work together to solve problems facing their people. A typical example of this problem is the Galamsey menace we have in Ghana, on which the two main political parties we have in this country stands differently depending on whether they are in government or they are in opposition. In opposition, they have beautiful ideas, very beautiful ideas to say whilst in opposition, but give them the mandate and they lose all those beautiful ideas. The selfish interest, the child of which is called materialism, is what is making our country lose the fight against Galamsey. Because once again, the two main political parties, the NDC and the MPP, will be trading accusations in public, and yet, quietly hand over Galamsey's site to themselves when political fortunes change.
Alhaji Suleiman Ahmed Anderson admonished Ghanaians, especially Muslims, to stay away from illegal mining and corrupt practices.
As Muslims, we are warned of such a time that our God is admonishing us that we should not allow corrupt system to corrupt us.
One Municipal Chief Executive, Alhaji Issa Nuradanwana, who represented Upper Regional Minister Charles Wonga Pozun at the conference, noted that the diversity of faith, such as Muslims, Christians, and traditionalists, show the strength of the people and not a division.
Our religious institutions have built schools, health centers, created homes, and created the desired society that we all want. We have trained children not only in knowledge, but in character.
There were messages from fraternal organizations from and outside the country, chiefs, and youth groups. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
We'll take a short break now. We'll be back with more.
My name is Muhammad.
My name is Albert Sorry, India's Indian region, and the name is Edwin Official. I am Rafiq Salami.
My name is Muhammad.
My name is Albert Sorry, India's Indian region, and the name is Edwin Official. I am Rafiq Salami.
Welcome back from the break. Now to some education stories. Old West MP Emmanuel Kwesi Bejra is working to transform the Volta region into an ICT hub aiming to equip residents with skills for the global economy. He announced this at the 2025 Whole West Annual Tech Fest at Awudome Senior High School in Chito.
About 200 participants were drawn from across the Volta region to participate in the third edition of the Whole West Annual Tech Fest. They will undergo a 2-week intensive field training in virtual reality technology, drone piloting and mapping, 3D modeling and printing, coding, website development and entrepreneurship, among others. McAfee Bejra led a team from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology to train the participants.
Also, in the area of developing the devices, I spoke about drones, drone piloting, geospatial mapping. Today, my dear MP, distinguished guests, over here, you see a small drone. That's one, we imported it. That's a Phantom 4 Pro drone. If you want to do any spatial mapping with this, on a single battery flight, you only get 25 minutes. But putting our heads together as a team, exercising our technical knowledge, we learn from this, and the big one that you see over there, I'm happy to say that we locally produce this.
The Member of Parliament for Ho West, Emmanuel Kwesi Bejua, said he developed the idea when brainstorming the best way to curb youth unemployment.
The vision is to turn the whole West, for that matter, Volta into real ICT hub within the West Africa South Group, where multinational companies can outsource jobs for the youth to sit at home and work for good money. And I'm very confident that this is achievable.
The Member of Parliament for Ho Central, Edem Kofi Potosu, underscored the significance of artificial intelligence and entreated the youth to embrace and deploy it in their everyday life.
It's just that it is coming to aid us in what we do, to make us better people. We shouldn't be afraid of AI. You can use it to farm. The mobile phone you use is part of AI. Somebody can be in Ghana and be watering his farm in America because he receives alert on his phone that the land is dry, the crops need water. So you what? Just press a knob on the phone and the sprinklers begin to work and there is water on the farm.
Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Chito.
Still in the education sector, for the children of Drobweja, the sound of rain used to mean the end of learning, a dangerous halt to their education within crumbling walls. But today, that sound is met with laughter and the secure sight of a state-of-the-art classroom block, a landmark gift born from single story that refused to be ignored. 6 years after JoyNews reports exposed their plight, this community is finally turning the page, celebrating not just a new building, but a future reclaimed from the brink of collapse.
This is a scene of pure, unbridled joy in Drobweja. The sound you hear isn't just children at play. It is the sound of a future being secured. But to truly appreciate this moment of celebration, we must first take a journey back in time to a story that began 6 years ago. In the year 2019, I visited this very community. What I found was a generation of children risking their lives for an education. The only school block built by the community itself was a death trap on the verge of collapse.
My name is Inigo Gift. I completed in 2011, and some of the challenges we faced was lack of infrastructure as at that time, and furniture as well. So we used to sit under the cashew trees around. So most often teachers are also not able to get here on time so that they will teach us due to the road. So since we were not having teachers, the bullying was so much that some of us, we couldn't bear it. So some people dropped out because of bullying, and the facility also discouraged a lot of them.
That story, aired on JoyNews, became a cry for help that traveled far beyond this district. It caught the attention of a partner nation, ready to listen and act. The Japanese embassy in Ghana stepped in, answering the community's plea.
Let me say thank you, JoyNews. Well, it is through JoyNews that the whole world saw us what we are going through, and it is through JoyNews that's why we are here today. I'm saying this on a record because it was JoyNews who came and did a documentary with me here, and it went viral, and finally the Messiah came to our aid.
And now, 6 years later, that beacon is shining brightly. This state-of-the-art 6-unit classroom block is ready for handover, transforming the landscape of education in Drobweja.
The handing over of this new school block this morning is to reiterate the significance of our friendship and ever-growing bilateral collaboration.
Headmaster of the school, Abubakar Siddiq, says this is more than just a building. This, according to him, is a tool to curb school dropouts and to fight teenage pregnancies.
One of the challenges was school dropout and teenage pregnancy. When the students get to JSS, with their structure was not motivating them. So what happens is that so you see that they will drop. As soon as they drop, they will get pregnant. Yes. So with this one, it's going to be an increased enrollment. Because the building itself will serve as what? Enrollment drive.
District Chief Executive Adam Kobna Johnson says the project will significantly lessen the infrastructure burden of the district in general.
We have infrastructure deficit as far as education is concerned in the district. And so, as we all know, government cannot do all. So what we are seeing today, one number secondary classroom block, it has come to lessen the infrastructure burden that we have in the district.
The next phase, according to the DCE, is already in motion with plans underway to construct a 3-bedroom bungalow for teachers to attract and retain the best minds for the children.
It is something that we are collaborating with a member of Parliament, Honorable Elizabeth Osei, to have at least a 3-bedroom accommodation for the good people of Dreboja, so that at least we can have 3 teachers living in the community.
Japanese Ambassador Hiroshi Yoshimoto encouraged the pupils to take advantage of the new project and urged all stakeholders to help in its maintenance.
It is important that all stakeholders play their role in ensuring the sustainability of the components provided under this project. With good care and maintenance, future generations will also benefit from this wonderful project.
From the brink of collapse to a center of excellence, the story of Dreboja is a powerful testament to the impact of journalism and international partnership. It is a reminder that one story can indeed change the destiny of a community. Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Dreboja.
Water is life, but at Adidome Senior High School, survival on campus is a daily struggle. As the school marks 40 years of discipline, excellence, and inclusivity, its proud record of academic and social achievements is overshadowed by an acute water crisis and dire infrastructure challenges. At the anniversary and speech and prize giving day, authorities made a passionate appeal for urgent government intervention. There is more in the following report by Ivy Setoji.
The Adidome Senior High School, ADISEC, in the Central Tongu district of the Volta region, was founded on the 1st October 1985 by a group of old students of the Adidome EP schools under the leadership of the late Reverend Ike Titiati. The school, which began with 7 teachers and 57 students at the time, now has an enrollment of 2,092 students with 124 teachers and 43 non-teaching staff. ADISEC is noted for its prowess not only in the National Science and Maths Quiz competition, but also in offering inclusive education of visual impairment and the sighted students together since 2008. In spite of its achievements, including upholding some of its core values of discipline, excellence, and hard work, the school faces an acute perennial water crisis. According to the headmaster, Dr. Vincent Atiku, the school has been disconnected due to Ghana City. It owns the Community Water and Sanitation Agency. Dr. Atiku used the occasion to appeal to the president to intervene. Dr. Atiku also mentioned poor internal road network and drainage system, inadequate staff bungalows, boys and girls dormitories, furniture and classroom block facilities as other major infrastructure challenges facing the school.
Paramount among our challenges is the perennial water crisis. The school owes the Community Water and Sanitation Agency some amount of money, and we have not been able to pay. For that reason, they have disconnected the school, and for about 1 month now, our students have to hunt for water. It has really taken the intervention
of the PTA with arrangement made with the district assembly for our students to be getting water, not in a continuous form. So every morning you find students moving to town. Every evening you will find them again moving to look for water. And this is really affecting academic work very seriously.
Francis Yawagbamadi is the Regional Director of Education.
Technology will not kick out teachers from the classroom, but teachers without technological skills will be replaced by those who have. So if you are a teacher and you don't develop your technological skills, the ICT integration into teaching that we are talking about, you can't do it. These young ones, the way they are technologically smart, they will come and kick you out of the classroom, and that will lead to your immature retirement. Management too, you need to be updating your knowledge if you want the prospect of this school to move forward.
The immediate past Regional Director of Education, Madam Enyunam Afi Amafuga, who chaired the function, stressed the need for the core values of the school to be embedded into the students in order to achieve the greater vision of ADISEC.
Has not ended yet. We have to make it. We have to make it. Shape our beautiful ones who are coming and continue shaping. Yes. Age today is tramadol or whatever they call it. Yes. We know the virtues of this school, isn't it? We have our values that we hold high. Discipline is one of them. That is it.
The event themed 40 years of providing education in Adidome Senior High School. Achievements, challenges, and prospects. The role of stakeholders brought together a large number of dignitaries from far and near. Every Saturday, JoyNews. Adidome Senior High School.
Everyone needs a budget. That's the message given to final year students at St. Monica College of Education in Mampon. The students are being prepared for a life after school with lessons in financial management. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has more.
For many students, graduation is a big step into the real world, but with that step comes the challenge of managing money. At St. Monica's College of Education, final year students are being introduced to budgeting, a tool to help them balance income, savings, and expenses. Finance Officer Isaac Osei Tutu told the students that monitoring where money goes helps to identify needs, wants, and long-term goals.
Having gotten their first paycheck, how they can maneuver or meander their way through so that they can be financially independent. But if they are able to get some of these things, orientation earlier, it really helps them so that they will know at the end of the day what is expected of them. But we give them how they can prepare their budgets. I mean, we wanted to be a personalized budget where they pick their estimates and their estimate in terms of revenue and expenditure, and I've told them their level, because right from here their level will be level 16, which roughly they can get a basic salary plus the teachers retention premium for hovering around 4,009. So when the statutory deductions also are being taken off, that is the SNET as well as the tax, they will get a net of some of these things.
Students were also taught the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% of income goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings or debt.
We're telling them, as to having gotten this money, where they think they can invest, they have to also save. But the point is that at the end of the day, I told them that but investment is better, because you can go by the formula, which is the 50-30-20, which is the 50 for the necessities and the 30 for discretionary spending, of which where you have opportunity to kind of do some of the expenditure, which will also add up to your savings. The last one is the 20%, which is savings. So we're telling them that because of the inflations and other issues, when you save, it will just be wiped up. So we're telling them to develop some investment culture where there will be a fixed amount being deducted. So they can instruct their bankers to do what we call automatic deduction, which is direct debit.
So initially, I used to spend without a budget. I used to spend without thinking about what to use some of the money for. But with today's lesson on the 50-30-20 strategy, I've learned to prioritize my needs, and then I have learned to save some.
Initially, I didn't know much about networking, but now I've got to know the importance of networking, how to connect with people, and how it will help me in the nearby future, because the world is all about networking. I used to save less and spend more, and I used to even give money to my friends to spend lavishly, but I got to know that I should save to invest, and investment is very, very good.
I've got to know that as a female facilitator, you have to compete with the outside world. You don't have to be stuck at a particular place. Explore different opportunities. Get contact with the outside world. You shouldn't let marriage be your stopping point. You shouldn't let childbearing be your stopping point, but rather excel and get to the higher grounds.
The annual seminar is organized by the Social Science Department of the college to prepare students for life outside the lecture hall. Head of department Bosco Abuaji says the testimonies of past students encourage them to continue.
Because of what we did last year, I can confidently say that most of our students have had opportunities to travel outside to study on scholarship, not just going there to hustle, but most of them are on scholarship. And as the head of the department, we've been writing recommendation letters for them, because once we introduce them to these programs, they become aware of what to do and what not to do, especially when we want to travel outside.
Holding the seminar for them is just to prepare them for the world outside school. How they're going to work, how they're going to spend their money, how they're going to live in communities or places that they've never been before. One of the speakers spoke about how they manage their resources, save whatever. It will be surprising to know that somebody may go pick her salary and would spend everything within a day or two.
The seminar also touches on topics like marriage and career opportunities, reminding students that beyond the lecture hall, financial literacy and planning are key to survival. A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
Still in the education sector, the Chief Executive Officer of Health Tech Ghana Limited, Daniel Mokla, says technology is redefining the global medical landscape. Addressing the 16th White Coat ceremony of the University of Cape Coast School of Medical Sciences, he urged medical educators to deliberately integrate digital skills and innovations into training. According to him, this will better prepare doctors and frontline health professionals to meet the demands of modern healthcare. Abigail Eson-Kroma reports.
During the 16th White Coat ceremony of the University of Cape Coast School of Medical Sciences (UCCSMS), 156 third-year students were inducted to begin their clinical training for the 2025-2026 academic year. The ceremony was held under the theme Empowering Doctors for the Provision of Healthcare in the 21st Century through Innovative Medical Education. In his address, the Dean of UCCSMS, Professor Sebastian Eliassen, explained that the theme reflects the transformation of medical practice over the years and the need for future doctors to adapt to emerging trends.
Our theme reminds us that the practice of medicine in the 21st century is fundamentally different from decades past. The challenges of a modern healthcare landscape are complex, marked by global pandemics, rapid technological advancement, and an increasing need for patient-centered and collaborative care. You are also a communicator and collaborator, and as a communicator and a collaborator, you must work effectively within interprofessional teams and build trusting relationships with your patients. Don't go and treat and take. Treat and take is unethical. not even the relatives.
Chairman of the ceremony and provost of the UCC College of Distance Education, Professor Mohammed Anochi Adam, reaffirmed the university's commitment to aligning its medical education with international standards.
We, as a university, are committed to ensuring that your clinical education is not only relevant to Ghana and Africa, but also aligned with the international standards, so that you are well prepared to compete, collaborate, and contribute anywhere in the world. As you are transitioning to the clinical years.
Highlighting the role of technology in shaping modern medicine, the CEO of Health Tech Ghana Limited, Daniel Mokla, urged medical schools to embed digital innovations into the training of doctors and frontline healthcare professionals to better prepare them for 21st century healthcare delivery.
With our dizzying evolution of medical technology in healthcare delivery, aided by artificial intelligence, it is evident that medical education must necessarily infuse some of this technology into the training process of doctors and the frontline healthcare professionals. This will in turn enable early familiarization with your prospect of top-up training during your professional life as further technologies emerge.
From UCC, Abigail Lesol Nkoma reports for JoyNews.
Away from the education sector, the Mim-Afo Community Cooperative Credit Union has constructed a solar-powered traffic signal in the busy town of Mim-Afo region, a move aimed at enhancing road safety and reducing crashes, while demonstrating the crucial role of private sector in investment in community development. Afo regional correspondent Emmanuel Edujinfi reports.
In Mim, a bustling commercial town in the Afo region, road users now have a safer way of navigating traffic, thanks to the Mim-Afo Community Cooperative Credit Union. A solar-powered traffic light has been installed to help curb frequent crashes and improve safety. The initiative forms part of the credit union's corporate social investment, giving back to the very community it serves. Frank Chebafo is the board chairman of MACO.
We took it upon ourselves and then decided to do something there to regulate vehicular movement, and then we arrived at the construction of the runabout. Honestly speaking, initially it was the runabout, but when we approached the urban roads director, and when they also came to do their feasibility studies, they said no, considering the place, I think the ideal is the traffic light, and it takes a lot of money, but we've still done it.
Mr. Chebafo added that community development is a shared responsibility and called for public-private sector collaboration.
The people in the country are the government. So wherever you are or wherever you find yourself and you've been blessed with something, you try to do something or pay back to the community or where you run your activities.
General Manager of MACO, Samuel Kwesi Esumi, says the project reflects the many benefits that come with saving with a reliable financial institution.
It helps in terms of loans, in terms of getting interest, and then security issues too. It is very secured for you.
For the Ahafo Regional Commander of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department, Superintendent Ekow, the new traffic lights will only achieve their full purpose if road users comply.
The MTTD, the police command, Ahafo, and all stakeholders in this enterprise are very grateful to Mim-Afo Cooperative Credit Union for erecting the traffic light at Mim, the police assistant personnel there, to ensure that they direct the pedestrians where to pass.
Motor riders, taxi drivers, and pedestrians see the solar-powered signals are already making a difference.
Accident is Siwahanum and Yasam Kitwa, Cassie, Boamfo, and Yasam Kitwa, the Jaquania Nina, Nian, Kampo, Yen Sususe Benya, traffic Nibi Krawa, by Yada, Marco Fossi, or Myers and Wadu Yamay, Ado Mayamano, then to me, Kababy, a bit of a woman would say, Ado Mano, a NJ, a F.
From Mem in the Hafo region for JoyNews, Emmanuel Edujemfi reports.
Now, before we go, the Apostolic Church Ghana is celebrating 90 years of spreading the gospel. Speaking at the zonal celebration covering Mamprobi, Adabraka, Kaneshi, and Kwashiman, President Apostle Dr. Aaron Amina called for revival and a renewed mind among members. Founded in 1935, the church now has over 1,500 local churches and missions abroad.
Established in 1935 by pioneers like Pastor James McKeon and Pastor Peter Newman Enim, today the Apostolic Church Ghana has grown to become one of the country's most spiritually powerful and enduring Pentecostal movement, with over 1,500 local churches in Ghana and mission fields in several other countries. Speaking to the media on the side of the zonal celebration of Mamprobi, Adabraka, Kaneshi, and Kwashiman areas, President of the Apostolic Church Ghana, Apostle Dr. Aaron Amina, indicated that the celebration calls for a revival and renewed mind in the church.
We have 4 areas coming together to celebrate. Our expectation is that Christians will understand that Christianity is about a changed life. Christianity is about a new life. Christianity is not just what we do in the church building, and when we go to our homes, when we go to our workplaces, we just do anything. With the number of people in Ghana who call themselves Christians, if we will live like Christians in our workplaces and our homes, Ghana will have no problem.
Speaking on the theme, the God that answers by fire, which is the theme for the 90th anniversary celebration, Vice President Apostle Efum Nyako had the message for the youth.
We want the youth of this church to start learning, to know the legacies that our fathers left, build upon them, so that one, the identity of this church will not be lost when we attain 100 years. We want the youth of this church to develop that virtue of patience, that virtue of commitment, that virtue of dedication. Today what we see is that when you give a youth, lift this, push this to that side, you must pay. So that commitment that our fathers had is no more.
18-member committee was set for the 90th anniversary zonal convention. Chairman for the committee is Pastor Enoch Atutonu, and he used the occasion to caution the youth on the use of social media.
Insulting adults, insulting people is not a way to go. You don't even generate interest of people to listen to you. The apostle told young Timothy that let no man despise your youth. The people will despise you if you look down on your own or you place yourself below them. But as youth, if we place ourselves at a place where people will look up to us, they will have no other choice than to look up to us. And it is how we carry ourselves about and how we interact with people that will make people want to listen to us. So I want to advise that please and please, let's not be abusive in our when we get opportunity to be on radio, to be on TV, on social media, but we should speak politely and speak with decorum.
Nicholas, those were some beautiful stories from our regional correspondent. Yeah. And that's how we wrap up the bulletin for today. My name is Esther Esi Nkrumah.
I am Nicholas Ekow. Yamoah, make sure to catch a repeat on Sundays at 12 noon. Have a nice day.
My name is Mohammed. My name is Albert Sorry, in the region. And the name is Edwin Official. I am Rafik Salami. Wow.